Hello and welcome back. Today I will be telling you about my story that for now will be called Twists and Turns, formerly Stars Above, which I've done videos before on my old channel, though I've made many changes. I will probably be making videos on all the colonies, but for now we're going to be talking about Moonflower Colony, the main colony that we'll be inside of for this story. Before we start, just a little flash warning for flashing colors and fast-moving video footage, so if this is a concern, do not watch. Now, sit back, relax, grab a snack, and get something to do. We're going to be here for a while. So first, let's go over the Moonflower Colony roles. Conductor, the leader of the colony and head of the colony council. They're former delegates selected by the colony leader and then gods and goddesses. Herbalist, the healer, tool maker, and usually the spiritual leader of the colony and council. Herbalists next to the colony conductors are like second leaders, able to protect the cats of the colony if the leader is corrupt, able to veto any rules or orders the conductor may give. Herbalists are selected by gods and goddesses, but only if they are the spiritual leader. A normal cat can choose to be an herbalist. That does happen. Spiritual leader. Spiritual leader is usually an herbalist, or more times than not trained to be one. Sometimes they're just a completely normal cat. These cats are selected by the gods and goddesses to receive prophecies and guide their colony in ways the conductor can't. Spiritual leaders are a part of the council, and there's only one per colony, and a new one is selected when the old one passes on. Delegates, selected cats by the conductor who are possible leaders, messengers, and council members. These cats help with negotiating issues between colonies as well as decision making. Veterans, retired members of the colony who became council members. Trackers, hunters and builders for the colony, helping build dens, barricades, nests, and more. Guards, protectors and patrollers of the colony, working to mark their territory, secure borders, and fight battles. Wardens, mothers and fathers who take care of their kittens or cats expecting. Some cats choose to stay a warden to help take care of the other kittens, teach them what they need to know, and protect them. These cats work to help train them to hunt, fight, build, and patrol before they become a rookie and decide their path. These cats help to decide the rookie's full name once they receive it, based on personality, quality about them, something they're good at, or good they did. Rookies, the trainees of the colony, working to train for a certain role. Gods and goddesses, the ancestors of the cats. When a cat dies, good or bad, they get made into the god or goddess of something, usually relating to quality they had, something they were good at, or their personality. Conductor. Let's start with Midnight Star. Midnight Star is the conductor of the colony and works as a guard. She thinks that Moonflower Colony is strong and honorable, and thinks quite highly of the cats in the colony, but the same can't be said for her. Practically thrown into the position, Midnight Star was made a delegate around a few months before it happened, it being the death or murder of Darkest Shadow by Bristle Snow, a snowdrop colony cat. Darkest Shadow was not only her friend and mentor, but the conductor of Moonflower Colony before her. Midnight Star, when Nightshade, who we'll get to next, received the message that she would be the next conductor, was shocked, as was the rest of the colony. Some cats were outraged that Leaf Whisker or Darkstorm hadn't been chosen, and others simply just accepted it or thought that Nightshade was lying. Midnight Star is commonly not trusted, even after how long she'd been in the colony for, considering how she'd been raised an outsider. Midnight Star, confused, angry, and in a constant feeling of helplessness, will have to work hard to earn the trust of her colony and also fend off the darkness that plagues all of the colonies, but not without help. Herbalists. Nightshade is the sister of Black Spot and Swift Shadow, and the respected yet grumpy herbalists of and council member of Moonflower Colony, or at least she used to be. Rumors had begun to spread that she disrespected the sacred bonds between her and the gods. These cats, who believe the rumors, have begun to dislike her and convince more and more cats, and in result isolating her except for the few who stuck by her. Since Midnight Star had arrived in Moonflower Colony, Nightshade has always been the one of the pieces of the puzzle, a part of a close-knit friend group of 4, with 2 more members that we'll get to. She appreciates her friends and her brand new rookie, Turtle, who reminds her a lot of Conductor Midnight Star. Every cat can tell that Nightshade misses her mother deeply and is terribly upset by her death, but she just doesn't like to show it or doesn't know how. Turtle, later Turtle Dusk, is a former outsider, along with her brother Fox and their mother Shadefoot. Originally training to be a tracker, Turtle decided to switch her path to an herbalist, but her reasoning was unknown. Her and Nightshade had both grown close, forming a sort of mother-daughter relationship, Nightshade being a sort of second mother to her. Along with Nightshade, Turtle feels like she can confide in Midnight Star, and that because they are so similar in the way that the colony judges them both, something her brother just doesn't understand. He fit right in, while her and her mother are typically judged. Turtle feels like her and her brother are drifting apart due to a number of reasons. She also hates how her brother doesn't stick up for her anymore, and doesn't seem to care about how the colony sees her and Nightshade as a great pair, a traitor and a traitor in the making. As she gets closer to Midnight Star, Turtle can sense that the conductor knows she's hiding something, that her family is hiding something, and she knows that Midnight Star is not going to stop until she figures it out. Delegates. Leaf Whiskers, the brother of Moonsky and Mothshine, along with a delegate, a guard, and a council member. Leaf Whiskers, the son of Thorntail and Briardapple, a cat who has a lot of mystery surrounding her death, which we'll get to later. Leaf Whiskers, the proud father, Rattletail, Mossshade, Spiderleap, and White, while with his mate Swift Shadow. Both of them were devastated when White left Moonflower Colony for Snowdrop Colony, but that was before Darkest Shadow's murder. He misses his daughter terribly and wondered if it was his fault that she left, and always wondered why it was Snowdrop Colony, of all of them, that she went to. Sent him into a depressive state that made everyone worried about him. Eventually, he snapped back into it with the help of Darkest Shadow, his mother-in-law, and Swift Shadow. He still misses his daughter every day, but he cherishes his kittens in the colony, making up for when he neglected them due to his depression. He doesn't know why White, or White Snow now, doesn't talk to him or tell him why she left, but he won't stop trying to reach her and never will stop loving her. Next up is Moonsky, another member of the council, a tracker, and a delegate. Moonsky is the best friend of Midnight Star since she had arrived at the colonies, and the third member of this friend group. Next to the much larger Maine Coon Molly, Moonsky was also always seen as weak or less than due to her smaller stature. Once Moonsky had been made a delegate, it all changed thanks to Midnight Star. Cats who never respected her finally began to look at her without a scornful glance, say hello, and give her a respectful nod of approval. She wasn't happy, though. She wasn't happy that her respect and success was due to her friend, but now that Midnight Star is conductor, her friend's popularity is at an all-time low, due to the rumors started by one of the colony members. Moonsky, who had been jealous of her friend for so long for the respect that she had once had, finally started to realize that things were a lot more difficult for Midnight Star than she had realized, and even Nightshade. Darkstorm is the brother of Starling Feather and Finch Feather, and the father of Leopard and Bracken, with his mate Mothshine. He is a guard and council member, and very well respected, which is why many thought that he would be the next conductor. Darkstorm doesn't mind Midnight Star. She thinks she is a strong cat, and will make a good conductor. But he knows that she has many flaws. For example, how soft she is despite her background, and how trusting she can be. Darkstorm is a grumpy guy overall, pretty no-nonsense, and also dark and broody and mysterious, as some say. But not all the time. The other colony members love watching him play with his kittens, and the slight smile he cracks. When this happens, it is always quite the sight, which only those who have seen would believe. While his exterior is harsh, he cares quite deeply for his friends and family, especially after the loss of one of his kittens, Star. Darkstorm must work his way through his feelings of grief and the off feelings that he gets from their newest colony members that they aren't telling Midnight Star, a cat who sympathizes for them due to their shared outsider background, the whole truth. Veterans. Next up is Thorntail. Thorntail is a council member as well as a colony veteran or retired cat, formerly a guard, and also one who is well qualified for the award of World's Grumpiest Cat. So grumpy that Darkstorm has nothing on him. Thorntail is the father of Leafwhisker, Moonsky, and Mothshine, with his mate Briardapple, who was killed a few seasons ago, her body being found between the Water Lily and Snowdrop Colony borders where they met Moonflower colonies. All anger immediately turned to Snowdrop Colony. Hemlock Fang has claimed that if it had been one of his cats, they would be punished. Thorntail wouldn't believe this for a second, not even if Hemlock Fang came to him and begged him to believe him. Thorntail is angry with the hurt that still stabs at his heart whenever he thinks about how he should have been there with his mate, and about Midnight Star's rise to power. A cat that he has no respect for whatsoever and believes that she has no place in the colonies and no business hanging out with his daughter. Ravenpatch is the father of Nightshade, Blackspot, and Swiftshadow, a veteran, formerly a tracker and council member. Raven feels lost and upset due to the loss of his mate, Darkest Shadow. Raven feels like he can confide in his best friend Thorntail about his feelings, though best friend seems to be a word that only Raven uses to describe their relationship. The way many see it is that Thorntail pretends to dislike Ravenpatch, but they all know while prickly and how much he loves to roll his eyes at his friend's antics, he absolutely adores him. Ravenpatch knows that his colony is grieving too, but he can't help to have that little part of him that thinks that if they had just gotten there sooner, that she wouldn't be dead. If someone had just helped her, she wouldn't have been dead. Raven isn't sure what to believe about Midnight Star, other than she's a respectable cat, and that Darkest Shadow really liked her, enough to make her a delegate. Trackers. Finchfeather is a well-respected tracker and the brother of Darkstorm and Sterlingfeather, mate of Tawny Stripe, and father of Adderskill and Redbelly. He's a sweet cat, always encouraging to the younger cats and teaching them whatever they would like to learn, typically spending most of his free time doing just that. This is why he's typically a fan favorite, someone all of the colony's youngest members want to spend time with. This popularity made his son Redbelly grow to resent him due to how Redbelly is one of the least popular cats in the colony, unlike his sister. Finchfeather doesn't really know what to do about his son, who he loves very much, but he doesn't know how to reach out to him due to how little his son wants to be around him. Finchfeather is upset by his son's attitude and how his son isn't very friendly with many other cats, which it makes him sad, but he knows it's his own doing. Adderskill is Redbelly's sister and the daughter of Finchfeather and Tawny Stripe. Adderskill is seen often worried, but it's about one thing or one cat, Redbelly. She recognizes that she has it easier than he does, but he could at least try. Even with her bitter feelings towards her brother's bad attitude that drives many cats away, she still worries that he will be alone, worries that he'll get himself killed, always starting fights with other cats in the colony and out. Adderskill is like her mother, sassy and strong-willed, and shares many opinions on the new conductor. Lily Whiskers, colony tracker and sister of Cloudpelt. She is like the mother of the colony, always making sure everyone is taken care of. Lily Whisker loves her colony, but the same cannot be said about Midnight Star. Lily Whisker respects her, or did, but only as a guard or even council member, but not as their conductor. Lily Whisker doesn't know what Darkest Shadow saw in her, but chooses to steer clear of Midnight Star whenever possible, struggling with the feelings of resentment for both Darkest Shadow and the new conductor for how Midnight Star was chosen over her to replace Thorntail. Shadefoot is one of the newest members of the colony and mother of Turtle and Fox. Many cats are not happy about Shade being part of the colony for a number of reasons. One being how vague she was about where she came from and why she was there, and the fact that Shade joining was the first decision Midnight Star ever made as conductor. Shadefoot was found on the Moonflower Colony border near the Forbidden Forest by Spider, one of the colony rookies. Some of the colony members wonder if she was sent by the Vipers, a group that resides in the Forbidden Forest, who've gone radio silent, worrying the Moonflower Colony cats, including Midnight Star. Tawny Stripe is mate Finchfeather and mother of Redbelly and Adderscale. Tawny Stripe is one of the most respected and oldest trackers in Moonflower Colony, next to Finchfeather, and one that most colony members will listen to. Tawny Stripe chooses to remain neutral in colony politics, but that doesn't mean that she has her own opinions that she'll tell you, but only if you ask. If you do, she'll tell you that she doesn't think Midnight Star is fit to lead Moonflower Colony, and that maybe the gods made a mistake, or Nightshade misunderstood, or maybe she even lied. Which one, she's not sure, but she doesn't want to think badly about the gods or Nightshade, or even Midnight Star. She's just not sure if she's ready to lead the colony, especially in a time of war with Snowdrop Colony. Tawny Stripe can see how much Darkest Shadow's death affected Midnight Star, and she worries that the colony will be led by her heart rather than her head. Butterheart is the brother of Smokefur, who we'll talk about next, and a dedicated hunter, fueled by his wanting to get his work done for the day. Butterheart, while a fine hunter, is definitely one of the laziest, according to his sister. Butterheart is a sweet cat, always ready to comfort his colony mates whenever they're upset. He likes spending time with the other cats in Moonflower Colony, including his sister when they're not fighting, which isn't often. Many members of the colony can't even tell when they're fighting or just play fighting. Butterheart doesn't understand his colony mates' problems with Midnight Star. He believes that she'll learn as she goes and do whatever is best for the colony. Guards. Smokefur is the sister of Butterheart. She's a skilled fighter and an amazing tracker, which is why many cats wonder why she chose to be a guard over a tracker. By the way, really quickly, I forgot to mention, Butterheart and Smokefur both used to be house cats, and they're actually based off of my two actual cats in real life. Whenever the guards help hunt, she's always the one to bring back the most prey for the colony, and she's a kind cat, always enjoying hanging out with her friends, and also she's no nonsense and pretty quick with a sassy remark. She's one of Midnight Star's supporters, believing in her that she's a good cat and will be a good conductor. It might just take some time. Her only concern is how she'll do with her first test, Snowdrop Colony. Blackspot is the mate and biggest supporter of Midnight Star. He's the brother of Nightshade and Swift Shadow, son of Darkest Shadow and Raven Patch, and the fourth member of Midnight Star's friend group when they were all rookies together. Blackspot is destroyed over his mother's death, but not as destroyed as his sister is. He enjoys spending time with Midnight Star because she understands how he feels, and they can comfort each other. Blackspot hopes one day to have kittens of his own to carry on his parents' legacy, but only when Midnight Star is ready and no longer under constant stress. Until then, he's happy to wait and soak up every minute possible with her. Next up is Swift Shadow, the sister of Blackspot and Nightshade, daughter of Darkest Shadow and Ravenspot, meets Leaf Whisker and mother to Rattletail, Spiderleap, and Mossshade, and White. Swift is a dedicated mother and member of her colony, helping her mate raise her kittens after she took a step back and Leaf Whisker took a step forward, often being their primary caretaker once they were weaned. She is always ready to do whatever she can to help her colony out, but after her mother's death, she was shaken, on top of her daughter leaving for Snowdrop Colony. Swift Shadow became unwilling to work and depressed. She was very close with her mother and angry at not only Bristle Snow being the killer and taking away her daughter, and Midnight Star for not doing anything to help, resulting in Midnight Star blaming herself too, but also herself because she wasn't there to help, and because the last time she spoke to Darkest Shadow, they fought. Worried about his mate, Leaf Whisker is now working to help Swift Shadow the same way she did all those months ago. Cloudpout is the brother of Lily Whisker, meets Kestrel Breeze, and father of Winter and Sun. Cloudpout is a kind soul, nurturing his children and helping raise them whenever he can, trying to be pretty involved in their lives. He's very proud of them. Cloud loves his sister, but they differ in opinions quite often, and most recently, Midnight Star. Cloudpout likes to believe he's open-minded, and on the case of Midnight Star, he is. He believes that she showed her skills and loyalty before becoming conductor and that she will continue to. Plus, she was chosen by the gods. Cloudpout has known Nightshade for his entire life. Why would she jeopardize her position to make Midnight Star leader? She wouldn't. Cloudpout has decided to make it his mission to prove this to the colony, starting with his sister, most stubborn of all. Well, besides Thorntail. Redbelly is the newest guard and pretty much an outcast in the colony. Many choose to avoid the bad-tempered cat. He is troubled and would often get compared to his mother and father, Finchfeather and Tawny Stripe. This angered him since Redbelly doesn't want to live in his family's shadow. A weak shadow at that, seeing as his entire family except for him chose to be a tracker. He wants the colony to realize that he's not reckless, he's practical. And don't even get him started on Midnight Star and the fact that Nightshade is obviously lying. Darkstorm is the rightful leader and everyone knows it. Some cats just don't want to admit it. Redbelly knows that trying to get the other cats to realize it is like beating a dead mouse, but the rumors are just step one. Although, he does know one cat who will listen to him, one cat that appreciates him, one cat that knows he's right. What he knows is that this cat is not as bad as the other cats say, and she just wants the best for Moonflower Colony. Rattletail, or Rattle, as he is in the start of the story, is the brother of Moss, Spider, and White, son of Leaf Whisker and Swift Shadow. Rattletail is pretty much the polar opposite of Redbelly, being an empathetic cat, and he's pretty much like the ringleader of the rookies, one that all of them look up to. He looks up to his father, wanting to be just like him one day, and hopes to be even conductor. Many cats enjoy talking to Rattle, believing he's a bright young cat with an even brighter future ahead of him. Rattle doesn't know why White left the colony, but he misses her. He feels like her leaving came out of nowhere, and she never said anything to him, his siblings, or their parents, as far as he knows. But whatever the reason, he wishes it hadn't caused his parents so much harm and upset, especially after the death of his grandmother. Mossshade is the sister to Rattle, White, and Spider. She is level-headed one of the bunch, or was, and she balanced out her sister's more enthusiastic and bubbly personality. After her sister left, she was destroyed. White told her everything, but never her plans to leave her. Moss feels betrayed, choosing to not even as much as look at White, but she's not even sure she notices. She's so busy with her new rookie friends in Snowdrop Colony. Her mother's depression and grandmother's death doesn't help, though, either. Out of her siblings, Moss was the closest to her, always enjoying listening to Darkest Shadow's stories and sharing prey with her. Moss isn't even sure if Snow cares that she's dead and killed by one of her new colony's delegates, Bristle Snow. Moss isn't sure about a lot of things, but her level-headed nature is now replaced by uncertainty. Spiderleap is brother to Rattle, White, and Moss. Out of his siblings, he's most like Moss, calculated and level-headed, like she is, but he's also quiet, unlike his sister before Darkest Shadow's death. Spider is compassionate, always helping comfort Moss, like his father comforts their mother, Swift Shadow. Spider's always been very caring, noticing small changes in moods when no one else does. Spider was the one on patrol with his mentor, who found Shadefoot, Fox, and Turtle. This angered many colony mates, most of which who aren't very vocal about their distaste that he brought them back. Fox is the brother of Turtle and son of Shadefoot. Fox is a sweet Tom, a bit on the naive side, not realizing something until someone outwardly tells him. He's caring, always trying to consider others' feelings, and giving up his favorite piece of prey for others. Fox recognizes that he hasn't been spending much time with his sister, but it's not all his fault. He often asks her if she wants to eat with him and his friends, but she always rejects. He loves his sister, of course, but he would always secretly hope that they can spend time in a group together, so he doesn't have to hear much about her doom and gloom attitude. Fox misses them too, but he can't let it affect him too much. She just needs to listen to Mom. Needle is the sister of Dew and Crow, daughter of Sparrowfeather and Tansy Spot, and her mentor is Midnight Star. Needle is a very realistic cat, usually working to solve disagreements with other rookies, which is why her and Midnight Star work so well together, balancing each other out with her more level-headed nature and Midnight Star's headstrong personality. Needle never really got to know her father, a Snowdrop Colony cat, who many cats look down on Sparrowfeather for because of all the drama going on between their colonies. Needle one day hopes to have a good conversation with her father, a cat she has only really talked to during festivals and some of the other times the colonies are gathered. Dew is the sister of Needle and Crow, and her mentor is Black Spot. Dew is a rambunctious cat, always quite happy-go-lucky, where her and Black Spot are similar. And she's also very excitable. She can always be seen bouncing on her paws, following Black Spot, or almost jumping out of her fur before training. Dew and Needle are practically inseparable. When she's not with Black Spot or Sparrowfeather, she's with Needle. Other than them, many cats find her energy exhausting, but it doesn't bother Dew much. These cats will see what she can do, and all she'll achieve, like becoming conductor. She also perhaps could have a tiny little huge crush on Fox, but only Needle knows. Sun is the brother of Winter and son of Kestrel Breeze and Cloudpelt. Sun is pretty much go with the flow kind of cat and is like his father, whereas his sister is more like their mother. He is also quiet and calculated, but Sun's cool guy persona is just that, a persona. After the battle with Snowdrop Colony, when Darkest Shadow was killed, Sun became very protective over Winter. This annoys her, obviously, because her brother is treating her like she is a kitten. But this comes out of a place of fear rather than wanting to control her. A fear of death. He doesn't want to lose his sister after losing a friend that we'll discuss soon. Winter is the sister to Sun and daughter of Kestrel Breeze and Cloudpelt. Winter is definitely her mother's daughter. Cool, calculated, and sassy, but with a heart of gold. Winter loves her brother, but after the battle with Snowdrop Colony, he's been controlling, and something else has changed. Subtly, sure, but he's still changed. She gets it. The battle was very stressful and scary. She knows she was definitely scared, especially after 2 cats didn't make it out of the battle. Wardens. Mothshine is the sister of Moonsky and Leaf Whisker and daughter of Thorntail and Briardapple. She is the mother of Bracken and Leopard and mate to Darkstorm. Mothshine is a sweet cat, but with a mind of her own and not afraid to speak it. Her and her mate are very proud parents and enjoy watching their kittens grow and develop their own unique personalities. When it comes to Star, Mothshine can't bring herself to think about her son, especially since she can't let it get to her the what ifs and how she could have done more and how, but she couldn't have. She couldn't have done more. She did as much as she could, but her kittens need her, and so does her mate. So she makes sure to push these thoughts deep down. Mothshine believes in Midnight Star. She wishes it was Darkstorm, sure, but she doesn't believe that Midnight Star was a bad choice. Honestly, Mothshine just really wishes they didn't need a new leader. There's enough external conflict, and there doesn't need to be conflict internally. Sparrowfeather is the mother of Crow, Needle, and Dew, and formerly the maid of Tansy Spot. Now, you may be wondering why I keep mentioning Crow, but haven't talked about him yet. Well, here's why. Along with Darkest Shadow, Crow also died in the battle against Moonflower Colony. His death was devastating to the whole family and his friend's son. Sparrowfeather blames Tawny Stripe for not being there with him when she should have known that he wasn't ready, considering she was his mentor. As for Tansy Spot, she doesn't know if he knows. He tries to be as involved as he possibly can for 2 colonies at war, but it's not so easy. Why he's Sparrow's former mate is because they don't really get to see much of each other, so there's no point in trying to continue to be mates. They're civil and like each other, but they don't love each other anymore. As for Sparrowfeather, even though she's just a warden, she will avenge Crow. That is a promise. Kestrel Breeze is the mother, son, and Winter, and mate to Cloudpelt. Kestrel Breeze is a lot like her daughter, calm, calculated, sassy, with a heart of gold. Kestrel Breeze is a warden and proud of it. Sure, she's trained to hunt and fight and was once a tracker, but she loves being with the kittens and taking care of them. All the wardens know that until there are new kittens, they'll have to move to a different job after Bracken and Leopard move on. But she doesn't mind. She enjoys being able to do both. Kestrel Breeze is quite nurturing, being the cat that most of the kittens want to be like, to her amusement. Kestrel chooses to stay away from colony politics, choosing to spend time with her family and the kittens rather than silly topics that don't matter anyway. Leopard and Bracken are the colony's newest members, the son and daughter of Mothshine and Darkstorm. Leopard is a sassy little thing, quick to think of some sort of remark, whether it's good or bad, she always thinks it's great, and no cat can tell her otherwise. Her favorite game is tag and hide and seek, which she always has to play with her father, who she desperately wants to be like when she gets older. As for Bracken, he's very sweet and considerate, always putting his sister first, whether she realizes it or not. She usually doesn't. He and Leopard are a package deal. Whenever you see one, the other is not very far away. Bracken isn't too worried about his future, but don't get him wrong, the day he becomes a rookie will be the best day of his life. But he's not too concerned. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video about my silly little characters. Sorry if I take weird pauses, or if it's just weird at some parts. I'm still not used to reading scripts, because it has been a while. But after this, if you guys want more OC content or have any suggestions of videos I can do, I would be happy to make more. I have some ideas, like the other colonies, creating family trees, or even making their map. I could also combine some of these ideas into videos together. But anyway, have a great day or night.